Hello everyone. Today I'd like to share about why I think Avignon in southern France is a really great city to use as a home base if you're going to be spending more extended time in France. It's a great home base to explore southern France, the different wonderful cities that are there. It's so central. It's a wonderful size. It's so well connected, and Avignon itself is beautiful. It's a beautiful city. It's historical, so well preserved. The city itself was more built up in the 1300s, and a fortress was built around the city because in the early 1300s, the papacy, the Pope moved to Avignon for about 80 years. I'll stop there with any kind of history lesson, but what it means for today as a visitor, that it creates this incredible intimate ambiance. The city, the architecture within the old walls is completely walkable. You can walk anywhere within the city, and it's a feast for your eyes everywhere you walk. And there's many historical sites there. The main one that Avignon is known for is le Palais-des-Papes, which was the papal palace. Now, I also went to southern France because I am a bit of a Francophile. I have French-Canadian heritage. I also went for the sunshine. I live in Vancouver, British Columbia, the Pacific West Coast, and it can get pretty gray. It rains a lot here in the fall. In the winter, I've lived here many years, and it has started to affect my mood over the years. Very fortunate to have been able to go spend a few months in Europe, and I'd like to share a little bit about that. Reason being, I listened to a lot of videos before I decided and made that commitment to go. Listened to a lot of people on YouTube, which for me encouraged me a lot. I had typical anxieties. I thought about money, one of them, affordability. And the more research I did, the more I found it was doable. I mean, I stayed at an Airbnb accommodations, did a lot of research, found a great place. I found someone listed as the superhost, and in the end, she became a friend. And I also became friends with her granddaughter as well, so I had a marvelous experience in that area. I ate at my Airbnb a lot, and being that it was France, the groceries were incredible quality, high quality, and very, very affordable. Costs a lot less than in Vancouver. When I say a lot less, I'm not going to get into a cost comparison at this moment. I will do that further down, give more details. But the quality of the food and the price is amazing. So I ate a lot of cheese, wonderful salads, great quality meats, and of course, being in France, lots of wine with my meals as well. Very affordable wines, wonderful wines. And Avignon is in the Châteauneuf-du-Pape region. Châteauneuf-du-Pape is one of my favorite red wines. I got an opportunity to try different kinds, and then another wine as well that I really recommend is Gigondas. They call it the cousin, le petit cousin of the Châteauneuf-du-Pape. So while I was in Avignon, I used it as my home base, as I mentioned. So Avignon is just really well connected because there's a train station that is in town. It's just outside of the old walls, and wherever your accommodations, your hotel, or wherever you stay, I mean, it'll be a 10-minute walk, 15-minute walk. And that train, I took that train to different cities. Now, in my case, I took the train, which is also very affordable as well. I went to Marseille, I went to Arles, and I went to Aix-en-Provence by train. Aix-en-Provence is, I'm sure many of you have heard, it is a gem. It's beautiful. It's just so elegant. It's incredibly elegant, and it's just completely surrounded by beautiful green rolling hills. The city itself looks like a movie set in a really positive way, like nothing, it just such a perfect way. When I say movie set, actually I'd only been there about 20 minutes and I was walking down the streets and I was pretty blissed out, and this woman walked out of a building and she was around my age and she just seemed really open, and I said to her in French, is this my imagination or do I feel like I'm in a movie set? And she laughed and she said, yeah. She goes, I've been living here for 5 years. And she goes, I feel like that way every day. I love it here. So I highly, highly recommend Aix-en-Provence. And I also went to Marseille. Now Marseille has this reputation of being, let's say in all of France, the roughest city. I mean, statistically speaking, they do have some issues with crime and corruption there, and the city is a really interesting experience. It's a place of contrast, incredible beauty on the Mediterranean, like just deep azure blue, beautiful Mediterranean. All the buildings are completely whitewashed and bleached by the sun, and going up, walking up, or taking the bus up to Notre-Dame-de-Grâce, seeing the views up there, absolutely spectacular. Fascinating, fascinating city. And just the whole port area, they've got this incredible museum there, and the name of it escapes me right now. I will put some of these in my description below. So Marseille, fascinating place to visit. Now, I took the train to Arles, train to Marseille. From Avignon, I took the bus to Arles, 30 minutes to get there on bus, and it was, 40 minutes at the most to get to Marseille, 30 minutes to get to Aix-en-Provence. And Arles has this incredibly preserved Roman amphitheater. It's like a complete highlight of the city, and the colors are the colors that you think of, like a traditional Provence, like everything's just yellowy, bleach, sun bleached, but lots of blues and pinks and reds and all those shutters, and it's just very colorful. And they have an amazing, massive Saturday market with incredible food, clothing, jewelry, prepared foods, all kinds of, I wasn't even there in, let's say, harvest or summertime, and there was such an abundance. And I had just such a delightful time. Again, walking everywhere. Aix-en-Provence is walkable, Avignon is walkable, Arles is walkable. Marseille is a big city. That is the second largest city in France, but I was able to cover a lot, like everything around, going down to the port and the train station, etc. Now there's 3 other places I want to mention as well that would require a car. Saint-Rémy-de-Provence and also Uzès, a place. Now I'm going to be writing these down, and I may not have pronounced one of them perfectly correct. And there's also the Pont du Gard, which is a preserved Roman aqueduct. Stunning, absolutely. The feat of engineering is mind-boggling, and the setting is just beautiful. And Saint-Rémy and Uzès are the places that not a lot of visitors will spend time in. And my Airbnb host, she brought them to me because she wanted to share them. Like, they're places that the people who live in France really like to go to. Incredible restaurants, markets, architecture. My experience and what I noticed, and I'm very visually inclined, I am a painter, and I'm going to be sharing some future videos about that journey as well. Each city in France is able to have this distinct look. Overall, you can tell you're in France because of the history and the incredible preservation of their history, of their heritage and their architecture. But each town just manages to have this individual characteristics as well, which I find fascinating. So I'm going to look down at some notes that I created, and I will think at this point I'm going to leave it at this. And for the record, this is July 4th, 2024, and this is my first YouTube video. I'm starting this YouTube channel as a way to, pour out some creativity. I love YouTube. Like, use YouTube for information, inspiration. I love how stimulating that environment is for me, so I thought I'd give it a try myself. I will make further videos. I'll go more in depth, different recommendations in the different cities, and I will also ask if there's anything in this video that is piqued your interest and you'd like more information on. Please go ahead and write in some comments, and that will be very fun for me to start responding to comments, because I love communicating on YouTube. That's what I do myself. So I look forward to hearing from you, and thank you for your time and for listening to me. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.